Long time back in refrigerators, Godrej had came out with ads, and long time back, maybe it is even before you were born,
Hmm.
right? Which came out with an ad that we had Puff. Puff is polyurethane foam. Okay, guess what? Godrej made a huge splash about that we have Puff. But guess what? Every refrigerator had Puff. Everyone. But
Okay.
Godrej picked it up and made a huge thing, and it got differentiated.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Today we are going to talk with a wonderful mind, a genius SaaS marketer, and he have experience in SaaS marketing from very beginning. He's there when SaaS term just coined in. Let's have a word with him. He's going to give very good insight, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.
Hello, sir. Thank you for joining. We'd like to start with your experience and how you come into SaaS. Was it just you haven't planned about that coming to SaaS, or it was totally planned? And what was your experience so far?
Okay, so the term SaaS was coined in 2008. Actually, it is cloud computing, which was coined, right? And there was three branches of cloud computing: the software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, right? Now, SaaS picked up in a big way because a lot of applications came up. So that was 2008. My journey in SaaS, okay, started because I was Gartner and I had gone to Las Vegas to attend a Gartner symposium, and that's the first time I heard this term called cloud computing, which was basically giving you software, okay, that you buy with license.
Right.
Here, you could rent it instead of buying it. The
Right.
entire model was that you could rent it. You do not have to invest in the capital expenditure, the servers and all that stuff, to have your software. And most importantly, it could be on the internet. So user ID and password. So
Right.
that was my initiation into SaaS. So I would say I started with the SaaS right from its birth. I'm joined at the hip with this industry.
Right. So while you're working in Gartner and IBM, and now you're working with startups, and you are also associated with lots of startup and giving them the path to how to grow, especially in SaaS marketing. What is difference between working in a big giant companies? They have lots of money and infrastructure, right? And working in a startup who just wanted to mark a scratch on industry.
Okay, so let me first answer the difference between large organizations and smaller organizations. Obviously, a large organization is process driven, and it's a process which dictates outcome, because you can't give individuals too much liberty. Otherwise, what happens is that they will take advantage of it, right? So it's process driven, hierarchical, okay, and time consuming. So they can't be as nimble as startups can, right? And startups by its nature are found because the large organizations are not being able to fulfill some of the customers' demands. So
Right.
when you work in a large organization, you have to expect a little bit of sloth. It would be slow. It would go through multiple layers of approvals.
Mm-hmm.
You might have large budgets, but it will always be restricted in nature. It's a
Mm-hmm.
myth to say that large organizations have large budgets. Not always.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't. But what happens is that and also you are in a large organization, you will do a very small part of the role, right? Because the entire job is divided between 3 or 4 people, instead of the entire, and that all those jobs will be given to one person. So
Right.
in a smaller organization, in a startup, you decide your own role. You ask yourself what you want to do, how to deliver on success, and
Right.
you figure out things. In large organizations, you can't figure out things. You're told exactly what to do, and
Right.
within that, you have to form your creativity. Both has its pluses and minuses. Okay, but this is how a large difference between a large organization and a startup is.
Okay. So, sir, if anybody wanted to start a career in SaaS, what you will recommend? They should go for a big companies like Zoho, Freshdesk, or big startup, or you would guide them to start with a smaller company who have just 10 or 20 people in a team.
I would not advise either, but because it doesn't make any difference whether you start with small or start with big. Because the good thing today is that you might have started with a really small company, maybe even a 2-member company. If you have done the right work, there are
Hmm.
people who will pick you up. So the earlier, what used to happen, say 10 years back, you moved from one large organization to another large organization. But
Right.
if you see today's profile, a 20-year profile will have a mix of large and small organization. You will rarely find anybody working only in large organizations.
Right.
Okay. That is one, right? Secondly, if I want to ask, if you want to tell someone what they should do as a career in SaaS, I will always talk in terms of marketing. I cannot talk in terms of sales or say finance or HR, those kind of things, right? So obviously in marketing, right? So I would say that if you want to start up, if you want to career in software as a service, know that it is business to business marketing. You are making an organization buy a product, even though a lot of people say it's human to human, but end of the day, it's an organization which is buying an product from another organization. So you need to be, if as for a marketing career, I would say you need to be creative. You need to be, you need to have that hustle mentality, basically doing multiple things at the same time.
Right.
And you need to be able to be a jack of few trades, if not all. Okay, so that you can master things very quickly. Quick learner. You have to be extremely quick learner. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you are in a large organization or small. So that's what I would tell someone who's starting his career in SaaS.
Yeah. So, if we talk about the SaaS marketing, like we have seen, there are so many companies who just got the viral marketing and they make lots of money, even lots of downloads, right? And even in B2B, Freshdex totally work on a, like mouth publicity, and they got lots of client in early stages, right? So how you have seen, the changes in marketing for SaaS, especially for B2B, when it was, started in 2008 and right now in 2022?
See, what initially happened is between 2008 to 2012, that kind of first 4-5 years, they were like marketing was being done like a IT company, right? IT services company, events, reaching out, getting people in a workshop and stuff like that, which was done by large IT companies. Okay. Over time, what it realized was that people were willing to experiment with SaaS because the involvement was only for a short period of time. You buy it for a year or 6 months or 3 months, right? So you needed a lot of people to come in contact with the product. It kind of mimicked that of B2C, consumer marketing. You did a lot of marketing, digital marketing picked up. You attended you presented on a lot of events. You advertised on all our platforms. You used social media extensively, presented ads on social media, and that's how it started picking up. Right. That did not happen overnight. It took some time to happen. Now that is how SaaS marketing picked up, and a lot of things which you now see, like the quality of content, the creativity, all happened in the early stages. Now it is kind of, the creativity quotient has kind of gone down. It has stabilized and stuff like that.
Right.
Everything obviously can be copied. So anything new which comes in will be copied. Okay. Earlier it was blogs, then white papers, then infographics, then videos, then podcasts. Okay. Have come. So what I feel the new journey will be user-defined content, which means user can choose which content they can want to see. User-created content, which is picking up. User creates, so you create communities, and within communities you create a lot more people experimenting and creating stuff. So the user-defined communities is user-generated content, UGC, is going to be the next big thing. So you have like-minded users, make them generate content, just like what social media is. So you will see B2B companies will have their own in-house social media. SaaS marketing has come to a place where it has become, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, which means everybody is looking same. Okay. It has come to a position where more money you spend, you have, it doesn't mean that you get better returns.
Right.
You can compete with a Salesforce within 1 year's time. It has come to a position because Salesforce, okay. What SaaS marketing today is going to be which players is going to stand out tomorrow are those companies which will focus on telling a very compelling product story. Now you'll hear this story. We are not making movies, right? We are not making films. But how do you see what happens is a product solves a number of problems. Okay, like for example, Outlook. It is a invite. It blocks your calendars. You can send an email. You can do tasks. It is number of activities, number of problems it can solve.
Right.
As a marketeer, a good SaaS marketeer should be able to identify that one problem that I can string out from the number of problems that the product solves, make a huge issue out of it, and connect with the market. Let me give an example first from history, and I'm putting some emphasis on this response. Long time back in refrigerators, Godrej had came out with ads, and long time back, maybe it is even before you were born, right? Which came out with an ad that we had puff. Puff is polyurethane foam. Okay, guess what? Godrej made a huge splash about that we have puff. But guess what? Every refrigerator had puff. Everyone. But
Okay.
Godrej picked it up and made a huge thing, and it got differentiated. Got
Right.
it?
Right.
Today, a good SaaS company would be the one who will pick up that problem, okay, and which perhaps everybody else has, and make a huge splash about it.
Right. So,
So that is what we need to do. The product marketing will be the key to success of SaaS marketing in future. It won't be demand generation. It won't be digital marketing. It won't be events. It would be product marketing, which will differentiate the future of SaaS marketing.
Okay, perfect. So this is the great example which you have given, right? Literally, there are so many companies who are doing lots of things, right? They are making lots of product and they're not focused on a single thing, right? Recently, I have seen companies who are just focusing on multiple things and they're not consistent with one, problem area, right? So a few days back, I just read out that you have posted a content regarding the valuation which company, like Zomato, they have reduced their valuation after the IPO, right? And you are also angel investor, right? So and last line was you will the company will a company can lose all the money and they don't have money for burning at the time frame, right? So what you suggest for any company, being a bootstrap or getting a funding and then do the marketing, what you suggest?
I am not an advocate that you need to be bootstrapped or get funding. Okay, each to the proprietors or the promoters one. You sometimes can't do supposing if you're in consumer business, you need money to marketing, right? Or consumer SaaS. Okay. Even if it's a B2C SaaS, if it's a competitive market, right? You need money for marketing. So to say that no, let's not do funding, let's do get the clients and all the stuff. It's not. I would not recommend that at all. But I would say that don't play the valuation game. Okay, unicorn, okay, 5x unicorn, Trinicon, and IPO and valuation. Funding is absolutely fine. Funding to run your business is absolutely fine. But I think all organizations, end of the day, should focus on acquiring more customers, acquiring more profitable customers, which will allow them to stop looking for funding. Because one day this gravy train will stop of getting funding, where you beyond which what can you do? Okay, one day the gravy train will stop. You need to generate your own cash flow. I think that's what should look at. And I'm absolutely fine. I'm not saying that don't go for funding. Please don't get me wrong. If I myself would go for funding, but don't go for value. Don't play the valuation game only. Okay. Drive profits. Eventually, that is what will sustain your business.
Right. So, we have seen companies who have received lots of funding, they expend lots of money on marketing, right? They are doing lots of, if I take example of Wheelsai, I'm into, logistics SaaS solution. So Wheelsai have done lots of marketing. They have, put the sticker on every trucks in India. Everyone can see that sticker on trucks, right? So what your thoughts and, what you suggest that what kind of percentage any company should keep for the marketing and how much money they can put in a marketing, especially into B2B SaaS?
See, there is no percentage. See, initially, if you had read Kotler and all the stuff, they would say that 2% of your revenue should be on marketing, right? Obviously, that cannot be applicable for startup because you don't have any revenue. And if you have $1 million revenue, if you just put 2%, that is just $20,000.
Right.
That's not enough, right? So there is no hard and fast rule what you can spend and what you can't spend. What you should normally do is to see that what are the activities that you need to do to achieve your revenue numbers. To do those activities, what is the kind of funding, and then you come out with the budget. That's the best way. Not all organizations are able to do it because they don't have the funds. Other way is that if you have a projected revenue of say $1 million, projected revenue, okay, you should have about 8 to 10% of that fund in marketing. Now, again, if you are starting up, then it doesn't make sense. So what I would say in the starting up phase, okay, whatever you can spend in marketing should be the budget. Please read this sentence properly. Whatever you can spend on marketing should be the budget. There should be no budget as such. whatever you can spend on marketing should be the budget. The second phase is when you are growing, 8 to 10% of your projected revenue should be the budget.
Okay.
And the last phase, when you're matured, these are the activities that you need to do. How much will this cost for those activities? That is the budget. That's it. These are the three ways I would do it.
Perfect. Like nicely explained. So thank you so much. So one more thing I would like to know, like if as a founder, I come to you and I ask that I have a certain kind of software, like B2B SaaS solution, what will be my first day? I just got registration. I just got my company name. I just got my MVP. How I can market myself? What you suggest anyone to do with the just MVP product in terms of SaaS marketing?
Okay. See, the first is that you need to know whether, this product is going to have a market. We all love what we do, right?
Right.
We have created something, it's brilliant, but are the customers responding to that? So it's best is to get 3-4 beta customers and tell them that, look, this is the product, what do you feel? Get that feedback and tweak, if not the product, at least tweak the pitch. Okay, what will you pitch for, right? So that is first. We test the product with the market, with few customers, with few prospective customers, not with friends, mind you, because friends will perhaps not give you a very honest feedback. They will be very diplomatic in nature, and hence they will perhaps not give you a candid feedback, and it is of no help. Customers most likely will give you candid feedback because they are end of the day putting their money over there, right? So that is one. Second, work on creating your product story. Work hard. What is it? Why should the customer keep on asking this question and answering this question? Why should my prospective customer buy my product? Yes, brilliant pitch. Okay, whatever. Why should they buy the product? So when you ask this question, why the product, then you'll say, okay, this is the problem I'm solving. Now, do they have that pain? Yes, they have. But how are they solving this pain right now? When you keep on asking this question, why should they buy my product? Why should they buy my product? You will get your message, your marketing message.
Okay.
Fine tune that message. That is the two things I will tell a SaaS founder when they go into the market. Keep asking this question. Why should a customer pay money to me to buy my product?
Right.
Remember, it could also be a product. Maybe it could also be a product which is already there with the competition. For example, you're coming out with a procurement tech, fintech product or a martech product already there. So you're not coming out with a new problem to solve. You're solving the existing problems. So now they have to ask, why should they buy the product when there are competition? Then you will come out, okay, my user interface is very easy to use. It is not so expensive. It is, and so on and so forth. So then you'll start getting those answers. So that is the two questions I will tell. What should they, why should they buy the product?
Perfect. Like, getting the why clear is very much important. So there's one more thing which, just stuck in my mind. We have seen there's so many founders who are there in an early core team member. There's no one who take care of marketing. Either a sales founder who is taking care of marketing and sales both, but there's no one specifically for this marketing part, right? They ask someone to join their team. So what your view on that? Like later on, they just ask someone to join their marketing team and lead the marketing team, but in a starting days, they don't.
Marketing is seen as a cost, right? So if they are seen as a cost, then you will obviously not, it will be not the first resource to hire. Usually the first resource to hire is someone in sales or engineering, mostly in engineering. Okay. Then marketing comes before, even after HR, because HR is the one who will recruit people. So they say, chalo, kaam chal raha hai, kaam chala lete hain, agency se kar lete hain, and all that stuff. So that's how marketing is treated.
Okay, so like, what's your view? Like, should anyone have a marketing team first? Because I feel nowadays marketing is very much important. Like even launching.
I absolutely feel after the founders, the first hire should be in sales. The second hire should be in marketing.
Perfect. True. So like, let's talk about your some kind of angel investing experience, like what you have seen, which kind of company you have invested in, and what kind of company you are looking for the investment, and what you find very attractive while giving the investment and talking about the angel funding.
Okay, so for me, investing is more type. I'm interested in investing in marketing technology, so that's what I look at. And not into consumer technology. I'm interested mostly investing in B2B, not in B2C, because B2C is firstly it's a very expensive game. I don't understand that space, so I can't get into something which I don't understand. So firstly, my idea is B2B. I look at the founders. I look at the founders' vision. What do they want to achieve? How do they want to achieve that? Are they confident enough to achieve that? And why are they confident to achieve that? Are some of the questions I ask. And most importantly, I ask me, since I'm a marketing guy, me as a customer, would I buy the product that they're building? If the answer to that is not yes, then I don't invest. So these are some of the ways that I look at investing.
Perfect. Like this is very important. Even I always talk about, selling that product to yourself first, then selling in a market, right? If you are convinced with the product, then you can also convince someone to buy that product. All right. So, yeah. With that, so we are at the end of our conversation. I would like to know your any book recommendation for our viewers, and then we will, wrap up this session.
No, I would say that SaaS is the present and is the future. There is absolutely no two ways about it. The future belongs. Everything will be now available on the cloud. Behind the firewall era is over. New startups will come up, and either some of them will succeed, most of them will fail. But that's the beauty of this economy.
Okay, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so.